All right, guys, welcome to the DGen and Green stream. I am your host, Kai, with my beautiful co-host, the man that is giant, mean, and green. Well, is he really a man? No, he's a giant orc. Orcosaurus. And then we also have my other co-host, TFG1 Mike, who looks like Cousin It right now because of the way his head was focused on the camera. So
that's because I was looking down because I'm trying to do promotions. So I
know you're doing promotions, but then you also got the nice grizzly Adams.
The only person who actually does promotions in here. We gotta let Mike do what he needs to do.
Oh yeah, I know he's promoting it too. Well, we all promote it, But I mean, we all repost and. Hey, I gotta get in the habit of doing that. I need to automate that or something.
Okay, what did we do wrong? Why is Mike gone already?
Yeah, because he ran away.
Turned the camera off.
He ran away. He ran away home.
Mike, come back. We love you.
All right,
freaking here.
So, all right, we're gonna address the elephant in the room today. Officially next week, I'm gonna be pulling that lever, and we will be streaming on Rumble, Twitch, YouTube, and X officially next week.
Can we excise Twitch, please? Because
I'm testing the waters on Twitch to see how long it takes for me to get.
I refuse. I will not be on camera if it's streamed on Twitch. I will have you put up one of my pictures, but no.
Okay, I won't do Twitch then, just for you. I'm just doing it. I don't like Twitch either, but I'm trying to do it as promotion to get people over on YouTube and the other platforms. For X and Rumble, I'm pretty much just going to stay there because it's extra sources of opportunity there. But Twitch is not necessarily the bastion of opportunity. Let's just say. I mean,
they're not bastions of anything.
Which we're going to talk about today. Because
they're bastards of everything is what Twitch is. Bastards of everything.
Yeah, they are definitely falling apart. And hey, Charity Champs.
Hey, Charity Champs.
And yeah, I mean, that's the big problem with it, is Twitch keeps making bonehead decisions. I mean, Twitch, I really am hoping that Amazon just has enough, sells Twitch. I would be happy if Elon Musk bought it at this point. I don't even care, as long as they can redo everything. But then again, X is trying to do streaming, so I seriously doubt that's really going to happen.
No, Elon might be crazy and out there and all kinds of weird stuff, but he's not that dumb.
No, I mean,
honestly, who is Amazon going to sell Twitch to?
I don't know.
Buy it.
It's been bleeding money for years, and the problem with it. And hey, Donnie, the problem with Twitch too.
Before we get into the nitty gritty of Twitch, maybe I can just say something that I told you I wanted to do at the start of the show.
Yeah, you just said. Okay,
we continue.
Sorry.
Or just jumped in like the Kool-Aid man goes, oh yeah! There you go.
Yeah, I needed to do that because I just want to get this over with. And then we can just start anew.
Yep.
So the following, I want to issue a correction. In the last show, I said data crawler or AIs can harvest your data on Blue Sky willy-nilly without any barriers. This is not true. You have in your options a way to gatekeep your profile so it can only be seen by logged in users. So that barrier is there. You just have to put it in yourself. I didn't know that at the time. I was schooled on that, rightfully so. And I just want to know that everyone else, you can gate your profile from outside sources to be seen.
Okay.
That is all.
Cool. And now what I found interesting with Blue Sky topic there is some of the people I know have definitely not came back to X. So it looks like definitely you're gonna have to have multiple social medias again, which is okay. I mean, it's great for publicity and and post.
Yeah.
I just gotta remember I gotta go on X and I gotta go on Blue Skies, and I'm just like, no, but you know, we'll do what we can. I mean, it's part of the beast and everything. So since he addressed that too, I may as well address this. Yeah, sorry for the lack of streams this week. It's been kind of hectic and had some issues with getting communication on some of the projects that I wanted to do this week, and no idea what's going on. So that's the downside of when you're trying to collab sometimes with people, is it's, you know, things change or situations change, and you know, it's to be one giant freaking headache. So I just wanted to apologize, you know, because normally I say I stream 4 or 5 days a week. That this week kind of felt like it was a fumble, but yeah, life happens, I guess. You know. Now back to regular scheduled programming on Twitch. So Twitch continues to take those nice L's with the VTuber community. I'm waiting, honestly, because there's a lot of people that get angry enough on Twitch. I'm curious to see what the VTuber community is going to do. I honestly am wondering, because some of the VTubers on Twitch definitely can't do the stuff they did on YouTube. So is Kick or Rumble going to start trying to pull them? And Donnie says bounty events and people, it's your concept. Oh yeah, it's been a headache. You know, at least they unbanned Neanners. She was banned for about a day because she played a game. It was funny, which we're going to talk about that because this kind of hits multiple areas. So she was playing a game where this indie developer sent this game, and it was just a butt. It looked like, just from what I've seen. And Neanners was having fun just slapping the butt repeatedly. And she was comical. I saw the video. I saw a little bit of the VOD, and I'm like, oh my god, there's way worse than that. So she got kicked off Twitch for a day because of quote unquote sexual nudity and all this. And I'm like, ow, really? And in the terms of service of Twitch, games are okay. They have it literally in their terms of service now that says these games are okay if it shows butt. And I'm just like, wow. And of course, nobody will respond. So it's the usual thing that a lot of these platforms do, which I really wish they would have more transparency all the way around on everybody to make life much clearer.
Absolutely. But I wish right now, talking about Twitch, I wish there was a giant dumpster fire rolling across our screen, because that's all that platform is to me. It's a giant dumpster fire. Yeah,
it really is. And so at least she got unbanned, but it continues to increase the image that Twitch does not want VTubers on their platform. And that's getting people frustrated. But that's not the worst of it. Under the T podcast, which I saw, and shout out to them, they are a bunch of VTubers that come together and do a podcast, and they talk about VTuber news and stuff. They got permanently deleted off YouTube because they showed just a little bit of that VOD of what got Neanners banned. And YouTube just nuked them from orbit. Yes. And they can't get responses or anything. There's posts everywhere on X right now trying to get their channel reinstated, because it was like just a minute or so out of like a 4 or 5 hour podcast. And it was just like, and they'd never been in trouble before. They'd been clean. They don't get a strike. They don't do anything. They follow all the rules, and just got kicked right off.
Nuked from orbit. That was a how would you say that in 40K terms? That was a live eater virus bombing of the highest magnitude.
I'm glad Orc knows about this, since he is a space orc. Yeah. I could not believe it. I was just, and they can't get a response, and it's usual robotic Google canned response on X.
If they, I So I personally do think, I don't hope it comes to this, and I seriously hope they somehow manage to get a hold of someone at Google.
Yeah.
But they are too small, and I feel like they're completely fucked.
I do too. I do, because Fifi, Kofifi, what was? I think she goes by Fifi.
Fifi-chan.
Yeah, Fifi-chan. She goes by she's the punk rock VTuber that she got permanently demonetized on YouTube. She had made some X posts that said that if you're a small channel, they don't care about you. Even if you're monetized, you're small fish, they don't care. And she's a bigger channel on YouTube. That was the shocking thing, but they said once you're demonetized, they're just like, yeah, we don't care.
But that shouldn't be the way, though. That really should not be the way.
No, it shouldn't. And I get that YouTube is a mega multi-billion platform that is all over the world. And I get that.
Is Netflix, so is Hulu, so is every other video streaming service that is not YouTube.
But here's the problem. This one allows videos and streams up there. So maybe their resources are that limited. That's why they can't have a call center where you call this number and you get somebody in your local region to answer the phone and then they try to help escalate it or something. I mean, I imagine because the amount of videos and channels that get put up daily, there's not enough manpower, and it would cost them even more. Because last I saw in previous finances, they were not making money. They were still losing a little bit of money. Granted, Google offsets that, but it's the server costs. It's the server load. Because think of how many videos is still up on YouTube from when it started.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
almost 20 years next year.
That's a lot of data.
Yeah, but there are plenty of channels that either the people delete them or they go so inactive that YouTube may or may, I don't remember if they do this or not. I think they used to. They will just delete a channel if it's been so inactive or whatever kind of thing. I could be wrong in that, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
They start doing that with emails too. Because what's worse is Under the Tea said that their current email is no longer working. That's
lame.
They can't get anything further. And I respond to him. I said, have you guys used that email? I think it's in 30 days. If you don't send or log on to it or whatever the case may be, they will delete it. I didn't remember getting a notification on that. If you do not use or log into your emails, you don't even have to send an email. You just have to check your email, whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
it will get shut down.
It's all kinds of weird and screwed up, and I don't care how big they are. I don't care if they're making money or losing money. I don't care if it's 20 years of backed up files and overproduced servers or whatever, overcooked servers technically, but you should still have some sort of customer service for every level of customer that is using your platform, whether they are monetized or not. End of story.
But that's it.
Yeah, this is not how this works.
It's not how it works.
The only way you get a hold of anybody is on X, so you have to have sign up for X.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem.
I know, like, the problem starts already way earlier. YouTube doesn't even have the amount of human staff it would need to moderate this platform in a coherent way.
No, it's like the Conan Exiles. Go ahead, Orc. Sorry.
They can't even have it.
Yeah.
And that's a big issue. Like, you cannot hire that much staff. I remember seeing a documentary on German TV, and it was actually about content moderation on YouTube. Like, they have like huge office farms in the Philippines where they pay these workers a fucking pittance to review videos that get flagged for whatever reason. And they also have a quota back there. So if the more videos they take down, the more money they get at the end of the month. Okay? So you already start seeing a problem, right? Mm-hmm. And these people see like the worst shit imaginable. Like you can't believe what kind of shit gets uploaded to YouTube and goes through the filters. And they have to watch that.
Yeah, and their AI is not perfect either, because I mean, so I had a Conan Exile stream that I did vertical for YouTube Shorts, and I did for the other. Unfortunately, the full screen one got demonetized, and I was like, why? It's the exact same thing as the vertical. So I went to X and I said, hey, Team YouTube, can you explain why both these streams that are exactly the same language, same everything, why there's an issue here? They gave me a canned response, and then Google, and they said, well, if you think it's wrong, you just need to request a review. I said, well, here's my problem with that. I would like to understand why it flagged it as not. I don't care about the Google documents, because I hate when they send you to Google documents and say, oh, well, this here, it's too vague and it doesn't clarify. Yeah. If you had an AI sniffer on YouTube that basically sniffed it and said, okay, on minute 2, you said this word, or minute 3, this looked like something here inappropriate. Let me address it. Let me figure out what it is. If there is nothing there and it's English, then I'm going to request a review. Let me know. So I just took their advice at that point. I said, okay, fine, I'll just request a review. It was undone and within just a couple minutes, and I was back to monetize. But the problem with that is I wanted transparency and clarification.
Yeah. You will not,
and I will never get it. That. I will never get it, and that's what everybody is frustrated.
You need to accept that. That's like the one thing that you need to accept with YouTube. As much as it sucks, there will be never any transparency towards you. Yeah. YouTube is a black box. We do not look in. And just since we're at the topic, Armchair Expert, who I can highly recommend, he's like at, 6,000 subscribers. And that's really long form streams. And they are really good and well thought out. He did a stream recently on the bandwave on ASMR channels on YouTube. Not just necessarily VTubers, but ASMR in general. And it's like his analysis, so take that with a grain of salt, but he analyzed a few interesting things. I haven't watched the entire stream. I'm like 2 hours in. It's like 6 hours long. I don't have the time to watch like a 6 hour long stream in one sitting, unfortunately. But he showed basically to what the AI could react. For example, if you do ASMR, and it's like wet noises, for example, are followed up by loud breathing. Something like that, for example, could trigger the AI and just say, hey, that is sexual content. Because the AI is going to be trained that way.
Well, that's the problem of the people training the AI.
Yeah, no, but the AI is trained in a certain way. It's trained right because they use the content that's not allowed on the platform to train AI. The problem arises that the AI cannot really distinct between somebody makes a wet noise that is not sexual and then like maybe breathes out loudly because the AI picks it up and just says, fuck that dude. Like he is making sexual content. Poof, gone. Yeah. That is the issue. And this is why actually these positives that the AI picks up actually need to undergo a thorough human review. And that it doesn't. They take whatever the AI flags at face value and just say, fuck you, you're gone.
Okay, I was going to use this for when Kai said something about AI, but I'm going to use it here again, and I will say it probably later in the stream. This is why I prefer actual intelligence to artificial intelligence. And some of these actual intelligible people aren't teaching the AI the right things or the right way. Oh my God, I can't. The unoriginal.
Mike, breathe.
AI makes my head hurt. No, I can't breathe because if I breathe too loud, the video will get demonetized.
Yeah, I could turn into an ASMR and be like, oh.
Yeah, turn it into an ASMR. Lick your ASMR mic.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
No, but it's really, really a super interesting stream, and like I said, I highly recommend everyone to watch Armchair Expert.
Oh, there we
go. If you're into like this kind of long form analysis streams, he does a banger job. And like I said, I also want to like watch the rest of the stream, but this was like one of the key points that I took away. It's like the false flag come from a real positive in essence. But yeah, we need more human reviewers. That is just, but YouTube either doesn't want to pony up or can't do it.
So I'm gonna put something comical in chat too while we're discussing. Here we go.
Okay.
If Orcosaurus and Mike were Street Fighter characters, who would win? Orc with his big robo arm or Mike and his whip beard?
You're an ass. You're an ass.
Where did this come from?
Hey,
I'm gonna just vote for Orc because I don't care.
Oh.
No.
What? Hey, I was thinking of throwing this in randomly here tonight for a little bit of humor because I voted for Mike and his whip beard. Hey, we had Sindel with her long whip hair in Mortal Kombat, so why can't Mike have a whip beard?
No.
Yeah, but like Sindel's hair was like controlled by her psychic powers.
Yeah,
I think at least.
Well,
that was
okay.
lore.
Maybe.
But always remember Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Sindel's first line: "Too bad, you will die."
Yeah.
The best line in fucking human history.
Yep, it is. So I know, Mike, you wanted to bring up something, and then we had an interesting topic last night at 4 a.m, which I'm trying to remember what it was, because I had this like weird. I was so damn tired last night when you guys were talking that I don't remember what it was, but you guys were having a great debate, and I wanted said, let's save it for the stream tonight, and I don't remember what you guys were debating on, and it was hilarious.
Well, it wasn't David Hasselhoff. It wasn't Alf. So that's usually the two things we debate on.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
Or if Die Hard is a Christmas movie or not.
Yeah, you guys were talking about that one. It was something else. It was a really interesting debate, and I can't remember what it was.
I got brain damage. I don't know what the hell we were talking about at 4 o'clock this morning.
I don't remember it either.
I don't
remember. Way too early for me.
Yeah, it was like, what the hell? Because I said, save it, guys, save it for the stream, and I don't remember what the hell it was. But it looks like we've got a tie so far with Orko's big robo arm and Mike and his whip beard.
Oh my God, no. Oh, Lord.
Mike's gonna win. I root for Mike. Come on, everyone, root Mike. I vote Mike. Mike for whip beard president.
Vote Orc. Vote Orc.
All I know is I blame the fact this popped in my head because I watched a movie with Orc yesterday, and it had the old 80s, it felt like 80s Street Fighter sound effects.
Hey, you know what, folks? You know what's turning 30 years old this year?
Street Fighter.
That's right.
Yeah. I think we were going to actually have that on our podcast on GeekCast Radio.
Yep.
It says because we're going to talk about
episodes. Yep.
Because that is still priced, which, by the way, you can see it for free on YouTube right now. It's got ads on it, but you can still watch Street Fighter if you enjoy old campy movies with being Raul Julia's, I think, last movie.
It was the
last movie.
Yep.
Which, let me just say, out of all the characters, Raul Julia's playing Bison was the best. He did it 1000% great. From his speeches, from his corny lines, he was great on it. I was just like,
Raul Julia played that shit so fucking straight. He chewed the entire scene. It's like, I always love when they like get a really good character actor in a really bad movie.
Yeah.
But that the character actor is like completely rolling with it.
Yeah.
It makes for such great scenes. It's the same with oh god, who did they have for the Tekken 8 advert? What was his name? He was in Succession. Let me look that up. They made a ad for Tekken 8 before it came out to Brian Cox. It was Brian Cox.
Oh wow! I need to see that ad because
they had Brian Cox, and he explained the backstory of all 7 Tekken games. So because it was the 8th one. Like completely straight-faced. That guy must have gotten the script, must have read it, and was just like, fuck it, we ball. And he completely earnestly talked about the most insane shit. And it was glorious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brian Cox is an amazing actor. I think he played Stryker in X-Men 2. Back in 2000.
Yeah, he's still around with 78. 78. Yeah, 78. Wow.
Yeah. And Donnie makes a good point. Frank Angela did Skeletor. Oh yeah, for the Dolph Lundgren's Masters Universe. You know, for being as campy as it was, I still liked parts of it because I didn't really think Dolph Lundgren did horrible as He-Man. I think the script kind of
it was the script.
Sucked.
It was not his.
But I love the fight scene with him and Skeletor at the end. I liked the whole him going for the power sword at the end. And I liked the whole thing with Skeletor and He-Man. That part was really, really good. Just the rest of the script was just meh. And I felt like he was spot on with Skeletor.
Mm-hmm. What were you gonna say?
Sorry.
Bless you.
I had to sneeze. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Downey just said it. Canon ran out of money.
Yeah, they did.
That is what happened. They had like these Canon films. Had like in that time when they made like He-Man, they had like these huge ambitions. They wanted to be going into the A-list of Hollywood, right? Canon Films, the shitty company productions with the shitty Norris movies and their like 50 billion sequels to Death Wish. They
Death Wish 8. Charles Bronson returns from the grave.
Yeah, exactly. They wanted to be so desperately into the upper echelons of Hollywood, and then they like started producing really expensive movies, and they all failed. Yeah. And when they were shooting He-Man, they were already out of money, and He-Man went over budget anyways.
Yes, it did.
And you know what? It's despite a lot of things for its time with the graphics and the fighting and stuff, it was still really good. But the story just
I mean
I would have liked it just focusing on Eternia. That would have been way better.
But, okay, yeah, you're right. But here's the problem. Okay, this is the same problem Transformers has. Hasbro, Mattel, they have human audiences, they have human children, they have human people on Earth here that they sell toys to. And I'm not saying that the movies are because of the toy sales or anything like that. What I'm saying is their desire to have their things written in a way where the humans are a sort of main component of the show. And granted, Eternians, humans, they're all human beings in Masters of the Universe, but whatever. But like, they needed it to be relatable. So the only way to relate it by telling the word. See, what they really should have done with Masters of the Universe 1987 is it should have been a 10-minute prologue where you have Randor and Marlena. Randor is on Eternia. Marlena is on Earth because that's the lore. That's the way the story goes in Masters of the Universe. She goes out and does exploring because she was a space pilot. She ends up crash landing on Eternia, falling in love with Randor. Wow. Star Wars. Yay. Randor. They have the twins. Hordak steals the girl. They have the boy. And then you can bring it into that's what they should have done with that. They couldn't have done that back then because I don't think anyone was that smart to do something like that in live action. What they did, it's a good-ish movie. Most people will say that movie is bad. The movie is bad only in the story and the time of for the time, the effects were pretty good for the most part. I mean, they really were. The story is where that movie lacks, and what story it does tell, it's okay-ish. And like you've already said, the He-Man Skeletor fight was the best thing about the entire thing.
Yeah, and when He-Man's sitting there fighting through all those soldiers to get to the sword, and then he's getting to the sword, then the fight scene was, they're finally fighting. Yeah. That was the best parts of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
and unfortunately...
Go ahead.
Well, unfortunately, for, what is this, 2024? We are 3 years away from the 30th anniversary of the 87 Masters of the Universe live-action film. So, in nearly 40 years, they have not been able to do a Masters of the Universe live-action film again. I don't know if it's they haven't tried, or if they haven't had the budget, but it's freaking Mattel. You'd think that they'd be able to do something in 40 freaking years.
Well, they had the Netflix stuff that failed, Mike.
Okay, yeah, but no, I'm talking about. Yes, I agree. The Netflix cartoons, fine, whatever they are, what they are. That's a whole. We'll be here all. You can't. I can't go into that. What I'm saying is, 87 to now, that live-action movie to today, the Masters of the Universe live-action movie, without me even looking any information up, I know has been in production hell for years because they either don't have the right cast or they don't have the right story or whatever. Meanwhile, you go over to Hasbro, there's 7 Transformers movies? Yeah. Yeah,
I know. Some people will probably eat or hammer me to the cross for it, but like casting He-Man isn't that hard? Like, just give Jason Momoa blonde hair and it's done.
Yeah, I mean, you are correct. Anybody could have done He-Man in that one. He-Man really didn't have as many lines, and it was mostly fighting. So at that point, yeah. The thing I remember as a kid, and this is what pissed me off about it, was they didn't have the real Beastman. They didn't have most of the original action figures that Skeletor had.
But that was also a character thing. That was a behind-the-scenes character. I think that was a character copyright, toy copyright thing. I think that's where the toys really hindered.
Yeah, because I mean, I always wondered why they didn't use. They had all these massive minions of Skeletor, and they didn't use them. They had Blade, which wasn't.
They used two. They used Beastman, who was really ugly and didn't talk, and they had Evelyn.
Yeah,
those were the only two. Those were the only two they used. And honestly, with the story that movie tells, you really can't put anyone else in it unless you change the entire story. Again, like I mentioned earlier, if they had done a 10 or 20 minute sequence on Eternia, you could have had Eternian battles or whatever. You could have had other characters.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what they did.
Yeah.
And I
remember that was the thing, and I'm blanking on a lot of the Skeletor minions right now. I know the guy that
we got Trapjaw,
Cyclops, Trapjaw,
Triclops,
shit.
Trapjaw, Triclops. We got Too Bad. There was
the reptile dude. I can't think of his name with the mist.
Cobra Khan. That's Cobra Khan. There's oh god, Jesus! I had all those toys. You think I would remember?
Oh, I still got them. One of these days, I want on the wall. I'd love to line them all up on there. Two-Face.
Too Bad, not Two-Face.
Too Bad. Yeah.
There's Too Bad.
I think this is like where the problems so arise. With all of these characters and figurines. If you all want to like pop them into a movie and give them all like a recognizable scene, you end up with a complete mess.
Well, correct. You can't pull them all in the first movie. I mean that's why Kevin Smith killed most of Skeletor's minions and killed most of He-Man's allies in his cartoon, because you couldn't put them all in there. Because think of it. Every He-Man, the He-Man that happened in 2000, that was cartoon, the original 1980s, they only had one or two bad guys with Skeletor at the time besides Evelyn. They had...
But the difference is between the Kevin Smith stuff and the 2002 cartoon is that the 2002 cartoon was made for Cartoon Network. It was made for television. It was not a broken up Netflix 3-part series or 2-part series where it was 10 episodes each part.
Yeah.
2002, television was being made differently back then versus what. And Kevin Smith, don't even freaking get me started. We'll be here all night.
Well, I know he wasn't a He-Man fan, and I know that he really blundered a lot of that stuff that made Masters Universe good. But I think the 2002 was really good, and they were able to bring it in there.
Yeah, the Mike Young Productions show. It's a damn shame that show didn't get a third season, because they set up bringing in the Horde and everything else so perfectly.
Yeah, they set up the Horde, and I remember they had quite a bit of lore they could have done with the Snake Men, too.
Yep.
I mean, which was after Hordak. I remember in the toys, the Snakes of Snake Mountain came out after the Hordak and She-Ra and all that, and that was around the time they stopped doing cartoons of the 80s version around that point, because they did She-Ra, they did the Masters Universe movie, which was He-Man going over and meeting his sister and Hordak.
Yep. So you got He-Man and the Masters of the Universe was 1983 for the cartoon. 85 was the She-Ra show, but before that, launching the She-Ra show was He-Man and She-Ra: The Secret of the Sword. 90, we had New Adventures of He-Man, which we don't need to go
We're not going to talk that don't exist. That's like Crystal Skull.
And then so you have no idea. Honestly, I would say Crystal Skull was better. Sadly, so from 1990 to 2002, there was no He-Man cartoons. From 2002 to whenever the She-Ra Netflix show happened, I think it was 2015, almost basically another, let's say, 13. So, whereas there's been a Transformers cartoon every couple of years for the last 40 years. I don't know what it is with Mattel. I don't know what it is with the Motu team. I have no clue. I like that I grew up on it. I love that I was able to watch that cartoon and do all that stuff and everything else and whatever. But, man, oh, man.
Donnie says, then you had pre-He-Man called Black Star.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah.
The coolest thing they ever did in action figure form, at least to me personally, was they did a pre-Eternia He-Man figure where he's cloaked. But he came with the Cosmic Key accessory from the movie.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was cool.
But that was the downside with it. I always liked, but I really did like the 1980s where they did introduce a villain or two that supported Skeletor here and there. And then they took like one companion, maybe Men-at-Arms or Tila, or sometimes they'll have three, and Orko was always the comic relief in that, usually. And it was not bad for that. And I liked it that way. You could not do it in a movie to put everybody in there. You would have to do many different movies. Yeah, you'd have to do like...
Can I just hook in real quick? Orko was always the comic relief, right? Just like here.
I was not thinking that.
I was gonna say, as soon as you said Orko, I was like, he's gonna say something. You know he's gonna say something. And my thought is, yeah, Orko wore a red shirt and you could never see his face.
Yeah.
Because his face was always hidden.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that when I said Orko.
As soon as you said it, I was like, but he's green.
Yeah. I don't have a red hat and a shirt to put over you right now.
Well, even if you'd said Orko, it would have been just as funny.
Yeah.
Look, we all love I still love Masters of the Universe from what I had all the toys, I had everything, everything.
It's an old school thing, and it was good. That's the thing I liked about it. And you could have easily done. So if somebody really was ballsy, if somebody actually had the money, and you could really put it together, you could do a Masters of the Universe live action movie pretty much every couple years and build that into a franchise without ever killing off Skeletor. You'd have a new storyline or something. Yes. Does He-Man win? Maybe you do a trilogy or something where He-Man loses. He loses his powers the second movie or something. Well, just like Empire Strikes Back, where you had the bad guys win in that movie and you waited for the third one. You could do that type of stuff and build a story.
Especially in Hollywood now.
Yeah.
But the problem is now there doesn't seem problem is twofold. Writers in Hollywood, to my knowledge and what I've seen in the movies I've seen that are recent, they either don't care or they can't come up with original ideas, or they rely on AI to write it for them. And that's just lazy bullshit in my mind.
It's all the above on that.
I know.
And Donnie says you could do something like that with Point Dread. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
you can do so much with that franchise.
I mean, the thing is, and you could expand that. So after a trilogy with Skeletor, you introduce Hordak, and there may be a movie of a war between Hordak and Skeletor, and Hordak wins or something, and Skeletor and his people go in hiding, and then you literally have a new story of Hordak invading with He-Man's sister, and then She-Ra's born at that point, and then there's a lot of things you could do with that world and make it a great storytelling. But you're absolutely right. Today's writers in Hollywood, in most of these areas, have no passion. They don't care about the research of the lore or history about it. They'll write whatever they feel like about it, and they don't follow the IP that built on it. And that's the problem. And that's 100% the problem. You could have a multi-billion-dollar franchise with Masters of the Universe and revitalize it today with the right writers, the right director, and producer, because you have such vast technology compared to 1987. Really?
Vast technology and a 40-year history.
Yeah.
You could take any one of those stories from any one of those cartoons, the original He-Man. Hell, you could take and tell a live-action version of Secret of the Sword, where we find out the origin of Skeletor, we find out the origin of Hordak, we find out the twins split at birth, Darth Vader style, whatever, everything else. You could tell that story in live action. It's just, I don't know what Mattel's doing. I have no clue.
You could even do a prequel with the fall where King Randor and his brother split, and then he becomes Skeletor, and he's tricked by Hordak, and he becomes Hordak's apprentice. You could literally do a prequel start to it that leads up to He-Man. Then it starts with He-Man, and then you build that, and you have You could have 12. You could easily have 12 movies that actually tell a long story that actually gives purpose. Because, you could, because I mean, look at what we got in Hollywood now. Avatar: The Way of Water was beautiful, but it lacked substance in a story. It was just too cliche. That was part of the problem. You didn't have something that just blows your mind. But you have the lore here, if you respect it, which unfortunately Kevin Smith didn't quite respect it when he first did it. The second part to it was a lot more closer to home. I mean, they did add some different things that wasn't part of the lore, but at least it was different.
Yeah.
But
so I'm looking up. Supposedly, there's supposed to be. Since 2007, a reboot of Masters of the Universe has been in the works, but has gone through developmental hell. Well, no shit.
Well, same with Blade. I mean, they just scrapped it.
Yeah,
it's completely scrapped, and I'm like, what was so bad? I wish we could get somebody from Hollywood. I would love to have interviewed somebody that was on that project that could actually speak of what the hell happened. What caused it to collapse?
What the rumors say is that they essentially had a script where Blade defended like people raid style from vampires in a old building, which sounds actually completely badass to me, like a really good concept.
Yeah.
And but why it was shelved is it didn't have enough integration in the larger Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the problem. If they're trying to integrate it, they need to build it slowly. That's part of the reason why a lot of these characters, and I know we're changing topics here a little bit, but that's the problem with like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We throw characters in and say, oh, well, this movie's going to lead to this movie. How about we have an introduction? Some of the people don't know what these characters are because they don't pay attention to Marvel. They don't do comics. And if you're trying to pull people into comics, why don't you have some actual origins to it? I mean, or something that builds to that effect.
I think the Fantastic Four movie will be an origin. I think that Marvel and Disney are relying more on the people that have supported them since Iron Man in 2008 with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And again, I mentioned this. I don't think Donnie or anybody else in the chat was here when I said this. Other people were in the chat at the time a couple shows ago. I say this every show. The San Diego Comic-Con in 2022, where Kevin Feige went on stage and basically blew the wad on phases 5 and 6 and didn't show everything, but showed major things like Secret War and other things. And I'm thinking here, you're not doing that till 2025, 2026. This is 2022. Lots of stuff could change between then and now.
And what I saw, Mike, is so the new Avengers movie that they're doing, the person in charge of Avengers for this movie is Captain Marvel. Brie Larson is center stage on this one. I saw something yesterday because they were showing the next 6 movies, and I'm like Captain Marvel just was not popular. That, I mean,
somebody tell me to breathe before I just start turning blue, because oh my god.
And no. I remember seeing on X yesterday, and I'm like, well, Captain Marvel was not very popular. It just did not have the same feeling as Captain America or Iron Man or Thor or hell, even WandaVision. It didn't have the same effect on that. I mean, Captain Marvel was one of those very, I feel, lackluster. And I think it was partly script. And I can't tell if it's acting or script. So it's kind of like the Doctor Who, when they had the female doctor. Can't really tell, I don't think it was the actress's fault. I think it's the scripter. Most of the time, you're stuck with whatever script you have. Now maybe sometimes an actor or actress is not into the role and they don't care about it and they're just taking a paycheck, and that could be a thing too. I don't know. I mean, when you could think of great actors and actresses, Sigourney Weaver, Heath Ledger, you know, a lot of those guys, they make those roles and they take it and hit it out of the park. I mean,
okay, so the problem with that is that Sigourney is almost at retirement if she hasn't already retired now because she's old, unfortunately. But that is what it is. Heath is no longer with us. Michael Keaton is still kicking around. He can still kick ass as Batman. But the problem is, where we started 40 years ago when the three of us were all children in the 80s, we started that, and back then it started a thing of getting actors and actresses noticed. I can't name you a single actor or actress in the last 15 and a half years.
You too, Mike. You too. I cannot. There just not many faces that I can actually say that stand out to me anymore. The only one I can think of is Chris Pratt. The first person that pops to my mind for the younger generation of actors.
This is so fucking funny. I had the same talk today with somebody on Twitter, and I said the exact same thing. Like, Hollywood doesn't have young, recognizable faces. And when they have them, they are fucking annoying.
Yes. And we don't have that. We don't have the Harrison Fords. We don't have the Stallones. We don't have successors to the Hollywood greats anymore. We don't. It's just, I mean, you look at it from that point, and it's like they have to bring back the old cast. Eddie Murphy, that's another one they had to bring back for another Beverly Hills. You know, if Bruce Willis was still able to do, he'd still be doing movies at this point. I mean, that's the problem. We don't have a younger generation of actors that just stand out and make us say, holy shit, they're incredible. I mean, I think that's probably why Chris Pratt gets all this damn work.
Probably him and Evans and Hemsworth and all that. Hemsworth is the voice of Orion Pax in Transformers 1. Never thought that would ever freaking happen. Thor is the voice of Orion Pax. Give me a break. But it's one of those things where, Hollywood now, it's just like the video game industry. We said this on Wednesday. It's all going down the toilet. It's all going down the drain. It's got to do a hard reset. You have to find talent, and the talent is in the writing. The talent is also in the actors and the actresses that bring the writing to life.
Look at how many people are turning to Ryan Reynolds now for literally every damn thing. I mean, he's a new younger face, but there's only a handful.
50. He's not young. He's fucking 50, dude.
He's younger compared to the 80s guys. He's a 2000s guy. I mean,
yeah, but like he's fucking 50. That's not young.
Then name somebody that's young.
50-year-old president than a 90-year-old president.
Okay, then name somebody in 2020. Let's just say the last 4 years of a rising star that you can think of.
I already told you it's no one, but like this is my grander point that I'm making. Hollywood is fucking geriatric at this point. Even, I mean, I might have been a little bit harsh on like he's 50. I mean, you're still good and somewhat fresh when you're 50, right? But it's still so insane to me that like every star in Hollywood right now is like, I don't know, 45 plus. Yeah. And that you have like, even if you look at people like, I don't know, fucking Ryan Gosling, for example, he is like 80s. He's 43. Like he is one of the younger actors that comes to mind when it comes to movies, like, or stars, to me at least right now. Yeah. But he's also 43. Like these people are fucking old as shit. And then like everyone is just old.
And let's just say Tom Holland, he does good with Spider-Man, but most of his other movies haven't done anywhere near as good.
Because they don't care anymore about building up actors.
No, they don't.
I will tell you why in a second, because I have a conspiracy theory about this.
Okay.
So They don't try to build up actors anymore, or like really try to like make an actor the focal point of a movie. They try to make the franchise the focal point of a movie.
I can agree with that.
And you know why they do it? They do it because it gets them more money in the long run. They do not look if the actor, if you like try to prop up an actor and he's not staying in the franchise, he's taking everyone who became a fan with him to the next project. This is not what you want as a movie studio. You want fans of the franchise, not of the actor, because then you can replace the actor. You can like do the James Bond.
Yeah.
And this is something I think that they will aim for in the long run, because they want just replaceable faces. They don't want people who draw crowds in anymore.
Yeah,
that's
they don't
not
want
what they want.
And that's gonna bite them in the ass, Orc. It's gonna bite them hard.
Of course it will bite them in the ass. I know that, we know that, but they don't know it. But it's like, what are you gonna do, right? I mean, Tom Hardy essentially said, dude, I am done with Venom after the third one, and I will guarantee you, I can't see it happening, by the way. But if the third Venom movie is a success, which I don't believe for 1 second, it'll like there will be a fourth one with or without Tom Hardy.
Yeah, because
they will try, because it's Venom, you know. There is a reason why they try to make this symbiote more the focus than it should have been, in my opinion. So it's more symbiote centered than Tom Hardy centered, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they want to take away from the actor. That way anybody can be the symbiote.
No, anyway can be like the partner of the symbiote, essentially.
Yeah,
the symbiote is supposed to be the star.
Yeah, you can replace. You could just throw in a guy that has no acting experience, and as long as the symbiote's the show, who cares? This guy's just supporting the symbiote. Yeah, and Tom Hardy is playing the symbiote, I have to say, but or voice acting as him, but you can't just like replace him. Like, even if in the worst case they just use AI to like make his voice legally distinct enough. And that's gonna happen in Hollywood. Like I feel like they're going to, because the other thing is, I just saw today that the new Rock movie, it's called The Red One or Red One or whatever, had like a fucking budget of $258 million. Like, that's like $250 million. Like, how out of control is that? Well, Star Wars Acolyte, like it was. Go ahead, man. Just let me finish that one thought. And I feel like this is another thing why Hollywood tries to center it on franchises and not on people. If you center it on franchises, you can tell the actor, hey, be proud to be in this $1 billion franchise. Ha ha ha. And please work for like low salary. I mean, I am all for actors working for lower pay, because some of them, oh boy, I don't make that much money in my entire life what they get for one movie role. Yeah.
And for those that don't, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's again, like, it's not that they want to make good creative movies with that principle, or just look if they can like get good actors on a budget. Essentially, what they basically do is they just want to cheapen actors generally, and then don't give a shit about anything. That is the problem with Hollywood, because they want to control it, and all the money that they then make goes into the pockets of the execs. Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's essentially where we will be going. Like, the people behind the camera, and I'm not necessarily talking like director of photography, people who worked on the movie, right? I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the fat execs in those assholes.
Yeah,
they want more money in their pockets, and that's where this is all going. And I swear to God, it will come back, and it will smack them so hard in the face that they scramble at the end to fix the shit.
Yep,
I can see that. And what I was going to say, Orc, is I agree with Donnie on this. They'll probably go with AI actors at some point, and they'll just plug in a story, and human actors will fade away.
Completely stop watching new stuff. I will only watch old stuff if that happens.
Same.
Now, speaking about Red One, I saw the trailer for that, and I was like, well, that's a new twist on the Santa Claus story. The premise of this is when Santa Claus is kidnapped, Colin Drift, the head of North Pole Security, played by The Rock, must team up with Jack O'Malley, played by Captain America, Chris Evans, and a bounty hunter to find and rescue him. Now, it stars, as I said, The Rock, Chris Evans, Lucy Liu, J.K. Simmons plays Santa. Now, in what world did we ever think that J. Jonah Jameson from 2002 Spider-Man would be playing Santa Claus? I'm kind of here for this movie. I'm kind of interested in this thing. You serious?
You serious?
I'm sorry. Yep. I couldn't resist.
100%.
I don't want to be a naysayer on that movie, actually, but like, why this budget? I can't get over this budget.
Okay, so that's why I was listing the actors, maybe because Dwayne,
I know,
and Evans and Lucy Liu and J.K. Simmons, maybe that's where the budget is going. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've seen the trailer for this. I need to watch it again. I've seen the trailer. It looks pretty good. But yeah, that's the only way I can see that has that amount of budget is because they have to pay for the actors. Mm-hmm.
And my point would be, actors need less money because, like, how rare. So the movies, I know there's like these Hollywood analysts and whatnot, and the movie's tracked to make like $38 million on its opening day.
Yeah,
it will never make its budget back. It will. 38 million is way too less. If you know anything about movie making, this movie will never be profitable.
Yeah.
Well,
because here's the thing too. Like you have The Rock, who is like a walking advertisement at this point. A lot of people just soured on him really badly for various reasons. He's not like that beloved anymore that he was.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Evans also fucked up a lot of goodwill in the public.
He did.
And I'm really, really surprised he would actually play in a Christmas movie of all things. Lucy Liu, I don't know.
I'm surprised she's still
what
acting.
She did recently. Yeah, I'm also surprised that she's still a thing.
Yeah,
let's see.
She was around during Pierce Brosnan's freaking Tomorrow Never Dies. I'm like, holy crap, that's a name I haven't heard in Hollywood.
Yeah, it's like a long time. Charlie's Angels too.
Yeah.
Like, but the only person in that cast, and as Mike said, is J.K. Simmons and Santa Claus. That's an inspired choice.
Yeah, it is.
Now, I like the Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn Christmas movies they did on Netflix. I mean, for what it was, hey, it was a Christmas movie, Mike. You know, it was
Hallmark has better Christmas movies.
Yeah, well, I like those. So I don't.
Lucy Liu. So over the last, let's say, 4 years, she had Stage Mother in 2020, Strange World in 2022, Shazam: Fury of the Gods last year, and she's got 4 movies this year: Presents, The Tiger's Apprentice, Old Guy, and Red One.
Okay.
And Old Guy and Red One are in post-production.
I got the actresses mixed up. It was Michelle Yeoh.
Oh, Michelle Yeoh.
Have she been in movies either? In a while?
She has been in movies in China and Hong Kong. But like she ends when she's doing something in the US, she's like ending up like in the absolute worst trash imaginable. Like that one Witcher spin-off that really nobody liked.
Which one?
Which one was that?
Yeah.
Witcher Bloodlines or some shit. Nobody liked that.
Oh,
like seriously, no one.
Then no
one. I've not talked to a single person who said, yeah, that was good. Like, that was absolute dog shit. And I don't know how poor Michelle deserves that, because she's actually also a good martial artist. Mm-hmm. Like, barely anyone knows. But and then she ends up, like, in this, like, shitty Star Trek STD thing. Imagine like giving your Star Trek the short STD. Like, okay, so stupid.
You keep saying the S and the T word. You're gonna summon Steve Megatron, but this is Saturday night, and I know he's not gonna show up. So Michelle Yeoh. All right, so the biggest movie she had before Guardians of the Galaxy Volume, or right after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, was Crazy Rich Asians. She was in that. I really dig a Netflix movie she was in called Gunpowder Milkshake, but that's a whole other story. That was a cool movie. She was the voice of Master Chow in Minions: The Rise of Gru. She was Airazor in Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. And supposedly, again, these are all filming, post-production, whatever, and they've got asterisks next to them. Wicked Part 2 and Avatar 4. Between 2024, 2025, and 2029.
The only relevant movie I would argue from all of those is the one that you didn't mention, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that one was actually really good.
Yeah.
And you know who plays in that movie too?
Who's that?
Huey Kwan.
Oh,
you know who that is?
Short Round. Yep.
Yeah.
Good old Short Round.
Yep. Yeah. If you have some time at your hand, Mike, I can highly recommend this movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you look at it, but overall, it's just, I don't know. I don't see anything that really just screams to me anymore.
So it's funny because since we're talking about this, I forget, was it the Wednesday show or I did something recently where I actually looked up 2025 in film.
We were talking about it because we were planning some shows in the future, and also you were looking up for GeekCast Radio, and I was sitting there thinking, and we were looking at it, and we're like, for 2025 seems pretty bland again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through this again, folks. January, there's not much. I mean, January, February, March, really there isn't much. Star Trek Section 31 in January.
Which Steve was on there, and he brought that up, and he said, it was going to be dog shit.
So. Captain America Brave New World in February. So another Bridget Jones movie for anybody who wants to watch Bridget Jones. But I mean, there doesn't seem to be, just scrolling down here without listing all of these damn movies. The Accountant 2, I wonder what The Accountant 1 was about. I have no idea. Maybe it was about an accountant. Thunderbolts in May. What I noticed about these movies, like the live action Lilo and Stitch, oh god, we are not talking about KKL. Hell no. Nope. Daniel LaRusso's the only one that matters. End of story.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about Karate Kid Legends, where they bring Jackie Chan in, and they tie the two continuities together. I don't know how I feel about that one.
Can I just say that I hate this entire concept from top to bottom?
Yeah.
I do too.
You can say it and we agree.
Yeah. I mean, I absolutely don't like it either.
Oh my god. Saw 11 in September of next year. Did we really? The only one I'm really curious about, because I like the 2011 version, I'm really curious to see how they do Tron Ares over at Disney. That's supposed to be coming out in October of next year.
I honestly, I think a new Saw movie is nice, because they had at least some production time now compared to the last. If you look at it, because like 10 came out 2 years ago.
Yeah,
they didn't churn out like it on a yearly basis. At least they are taking their time to get maybe things right. Maybe that's a good idea. I just, just a suggestion.
Yeah. See, 2020 screwed up the entire. I mean, it was already screwed up anyway, but the order of release of doing things in Hollywood, 2020 screwed all that up, because they had to either do it theater at home or release it straight to disc, or release it to this or release it to that. No theaters, no nothing, whatever. Whereas when we were all kids, movies would come out 2, maybe 3, sometimes 4 years apart. Like you take Beverly Hills Cop, 84, 87, 94. We don't talk about that one, but 94, and then obviously 2024. You take any of the other Halloween movies. I don't remember their. Well, I do know that Nightmare on Elm Street came out this year, 40 years ago this year, in 84. And I think the second one came out like 2 or 3. The point is Hollywood used to have a timetable of when they were going to release the sequels or the new movies, in a quote-unquote franchise. They don't have that anymore, because...
Now, a movie that I liked that I did not want to see a sequel to. It's confirmed. Christopher Lloyd's coming back in it too. And that's Nobody 2.
Oh, Nobody 2.
I don't want to see...
No.
Yeah, they decided they're going to try to turn it into a franchise. I'm like, no, don't Please, tarnish Nobody 1. Nobody 1 was a great one-off movie done. I love that movie. I still watch that one. It was like one of the few movies in the last 10 years that I really absolutely loved. It was just a straight kick-ass action movie.
Yep.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It made me feel reminiscent of the 90s movies, where it was just a good story and action all the way through.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I don't want to see a sequel.
And then that's the thing, like, what was the other one? Was it, what was the other movie? We did a podcast on it. It was Gunpowder Milkshake, and what was the other one? There were 2 movies. My buddy Tom and I did a podcast on them over on Studio 2009. It was Gunpowder Milkshake and something else on Netflix. And they were both really good single movies. Gunpowder Milkshake kind of set up a potential for a sequel, but so far it hasn't happened. And I admit, this is what I miss about the old days, and they're kind of sort of getting back to this, unless it's franchise, is that I miss that single movie. Like, you don't have a sequel to 1989's The Dream Team. You don't have a sequel to Throw Mama from the Train. You don't have a sequel to...
You don't even have a sequel to Tango and Cash, and would deserve a sequel.
Yeah, no. I mean, Tango Cash was a great movie, but we don't need a sequel. You could leave it to what they call, and this is some people forget, your imagination.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, but like, my point is, it's still deserved one.
It's just like Donnie even says, I don't want John Wick back. We've had how many John Wick movies now?
I don't want him.
I haven't even seen the 4th one yet.
All John Wick movies were absolutely great, and I am with Downey on that one. I do not want another John Wick movie. I just don't. But they desperately try to make it into a franchise. Like, they have this weird TV series going on that nobody watched. They have this weird movie coming out with Ana de Armas, who isn't even an action star. Like, that chick looks like I can just blow her away with, like, slapping her. It's like... I don't care for that shit. Like, you had 4 fucking great movies, balls to the walls, action, back to back to back. Stop it. You do not need a 5th one. They announced a John Wick anime. I don't even want that. Just stop.
Yeah, it breaks my soul every time I see that stuff, because I'm just like, why? I mean, it's like sometimes you don't need sequels, and a lot of times you don't need sequels, period.
Yeah.
Do a trilogy. If you wanted to plan a trilogy out, have that pre-planned. Have it focused. Yeah. I mean, look at Scream. We're getting ready to do Scream 7. Neve Campbell's coming back. Do we need another Scream? No.
No, because the Sumo ones were awful.
Yeah. So the coolest thing about John Wick is that all of the movies take place like linearly over a set part of time, and each movie rolls into the next movie of the timeline of the thing. I have not seen the fourth movie yet. I want to, but at the end of the third movie, even though they set up, oh, we're going to go after the high table, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that, even though they set all that up, I was perfectly fine with it being a trilogy. I need to rewatch the trailers for the fourth one and get it on whatever kind of thing, but to watch it. But it's one of those things where I didn't not want a fourth one, but I didn't need one either. So like we said, the art of the single movie is here, but it's not here, and they want to basically try their best to make the money with the franchises, and that's all they want to do.
Yeah, it's like you're bringing out Beverly Hills Cop 5. We don't need a fifth one.
I hope that's good. I mean, we waited 30 years for the fourth one because Eddie said he wasn't going to do it unless the script was actually really freaking good, and the fourth movie was really freaking good. I hope they're not doing that just to do it, and I hope he doesn't come back just because the fourth one made the money. Like, I hope it's another. I hope it's another 20 years. I don't think it's going to be that, but between Beverly Hills Cop 5, there's probably going to be a Bad Boys 5, even though I haven't seen Bad Boys 4 yet. But it just, I don't know, man. Like,
I'm burnt out on sequels, but that's where we're at now because Hollywood's broke. I mean, look at Acolyte. I was going to talk about that earlier. Almost $200 million for that stupid streaming series. And guess what Godzilla -1 cost? A whole hell of a lot less. They're getting ready to re-release Godzilla -1 with extended features that they cut. That's like another 15 minutes of stuff. And that made more money worldwide than half the Star Wars crap has made any time recently.
Thank you. You just reminded me what I was looking up earlier. So we were talking about Venom and The Last Dance. That just came out.
And it's not doing well.
That movie had a budget of $120 million. It's only made $94.8 million in theaters right now.
And it'll probably break even, but that's about all it'll do.
That's about it. Yeah. And I have zero interest.
How much did it make?
Right now, $94.8 million.
That's a lot more than I thought it would make. Actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, my best friend loved both Venom movies. I thought they were like okay.
I liked the first one. And I hated the second one.
And he just asked me, "Yeah, you coming or what?" And we go and see it tomorrow. But yeah, no, I feel like, I mean, it won't, like, it's 120 million budget, so it's basically, it needs to make 240, 300 to break even. I can see that actually happen if it made like $94 million already. Like, it just came out this Thursday.
Yeah, it literally just came out this past. This
past week, like 23rd, on Wednesday it came out.
Yeah, on Wednesday it came out. Yeah. So we're in the first weekend of box office for it, and the fact that it's already made 94 million, I guess, is good. I don't know. I have zero interest in it because honestly,
I'm gonna be honest. I really thought this thing was like a gigantic bomb. I really thought this would bomb hard. Like, not Crow hard or Borderlands hard, but pretty close. It made more than Crow and Borderlands. Like, that has to count for something, right?
Yeah, that has to count for something. I'm just tired of the back and forth with the whole Marvel, Sony. Like, just put them all in one Spider-Man movie. There's rumors, and I'm going to say it's a rumor, because I don't have any confirmation. I'm not looking. There's a rumor that Spider-Man 4 is actually going to get made.
I've heard that. I've heard that 4 times in the last several months that they're trying to bring Tobey Maguire back for his Spider-Man 4.
I've heard it, and I've seen various things like in the last 4 days saying that it's happening.
It's like you are not fucking with me right now.
No,
I'm not. I literally, I'll see if I can find it on IGN.
Tobey Maguire is coming back.
You just should have seen Roma eyes.
Yeah, because they were desperate because he was so popular that they're decided, we got to bring him back. We got to bring him back because
no, leave him alone.
Mm-hmm.
No, stop.
So
don't.
I wish I had a clip right now. I would click it on my stream deck where we have Orc's face on Vader and going, no. Because that's all I see right now. Yeah, they're bringing him back.
This is stupid.
Yeah, it is.
So, okay, so this is from IGN. This was updated October 25th, 2024 at 2:45 p.m. Spider-Man 4 officially has a summer 2026 release date with Destin Daniel Cretton directing.
Whoever the hell that is. So
that is the asshole that directed like Shang-Chi and the fucking tin ass.
The tin asses.
Cock rings.
Yeah. The new Spider-Man 4 release date figures to make 2026 a huge summer for the MCU, putting it 2 months after Avengers Doomsday. It's reminiscent of Spider-Man Far From Home, which is similarly released shortly after Avengers Endgame. It is also a busy time for Tom Holland, who is set to star in Christopher Nolan's next movie, which also is releasing in July of 2026. I wish they would actually say what the movie for Nolan is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, that would be much more interesting than like fucking Cretton over here directing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Details. Yeah,
it's not looking good, lads. That's all I'm saying.
I'm so sick of Hollywood. I'm just gonna watch my DVDs and my old stuff and my stuff from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s that was actually good.
Dude, Mike, I just started collecting movies again, and I don't regret anything. Like, I have the entire Queen's Blade collection behind me on Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It's all the anime I ever need. First episode, some chick shoots her titty milk around and buildings explode because of it. It's fantastic.
Oh my God.
Fuck Hollywood. It's all I ever need in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, my God, this guy. I have not seen a damn thing that he has directed. Oh, God. And he's only been directing since 2012. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go throw up now.
Yeah.
And you wanna know something that I will definitely tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Shang-Chi is a shit movie.
Yeah.
I won't watch it.
Like, it is bottom of the barrel fucking shit.
Marvel Phase 4.
It's probably down. I think only Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is worse in terms of Marvel.
Oh, I hated that movie because I feel like they destroyed the Scarlet Witch. They
completely character assassinated her.
Yeah.
Like, completely.
Yeah.
They already started in WandaVision with it, but like,
they finished it off.
just don't let's not talk about this movie because it triggers me. It triggers me harder than a man's rights activist, a feminist.
Wow. the only, okay, in my personal opinion, the only two good movies, and which one is kind of subjective, I guess, but the only two good movies that Phase 4 had was No Way Home and Black Widow. The only reason why I liked Black Widow was because we got her origin story. We got it taking place between the other movies kind of thing. And then for me, the Phase 4 TV series, I liked Falcon and Winter. I love the What If animated series. I am so excited for the third season whenever it's going to happen. I liked Hawkeye, and I haven't seen Moon Knight, Ms. Marvel, or She-Hulk Attorney at Law. I watched WandaVision, Falcon and Winter, and I don't care for Loki's character, so I won't watch his show.
And She-Hulk was just, how do I want to put it? It felt like it was just a spit roast. It just was like, all they did was just, felt like it was one big, really bad Nickelodeon joke.
So the third and final season of What If, the anthology series, will... I'm trying to find a date here. Nope, no date.
So, fun fact, with technology we have today, like VR chat, which a lot of VTubers have their 3D models and stuff. Did you know, fun fact, that VTubers can have way more animation and a cheaper budget to do stuff? They have all sorts of things. You can do a TV show damn near with the VTubers. If you had the right assets behind you and you had everything in a green screen and you had, like, literally, if I had a big studio and I had it all green screened or whatever and plugged it in, I could have Orcosaurus fly here, have him set up his character if it was in 3D, and I could do it, and we literally could interact with each other, like, literally right on camera, like it was an animated movie.
Yeah.
Like, we could do the filming. We'd have fighting and sword fighting and everything, and you just take the CGI, edit it, all that, and bam. I mean, you could make a movie, The Adventures of the Dragon Lord and Orcosaurus, through VTubing, and it's a million times cheaper than what Hollywood puts out, and you could have all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, absolutely you could.
I mean, I was thinking about that the other day. How much money in the VTuber industry you actually can save. I mean, really, if you did a lot of that type of industry work. I mean, they had a VTuber release. I guess it was somebody that used to be in a big group, Doobie, and she was sitting there climbing up on stuff and all sorts of things. And it's like, you know, that's where you're at. I mean, Fillion has been doing it with her, the VR chat model or whatever it is, for several years. It's popular. She was doing backflips and crashing and breaking her headsets and stuff all the time. Basically, if you had the room, you could literally do all that stuff in your home studio. As long as you had the right assets and your model could work in 3D and interact with everything. Yeah. It's unreal. And you would save more money. Like literally, I could write a movie and make it animated using 3D avatars, and we just change the background settings and we have stuff set up, and you could literally do an animated show.
Yeah.
And then you record everything, and then so let's say Orcs find me with his giant arm and I have a sword or something. You could add special effects once you finish filming it, like, let's just say the power of your sword, breaks the wind and it comes at him, and then, he fires a laser from his arm or something. You could add all those special effects afterwards and literally have something cheaper, more effective, and have a story. I'm just using it as an example.
No, I know, but the way you talking about the sword, I'm like, so the sword is gonna fart at him. Great.
You don't watch much anime, do you? There's a lot of katana users and stuff, and a lot of samurais that swing so hard that they basically cut through wind and push the wind. So yeah,
right. I remember, but I'm just saying, all I can think of is you're going to cut a fart
like
out.
Rurouni Kenshin's a good example. Bleach is a great example. Things like that. I'm using that as an example just of where we're at in technology. That you could literally do that. You could have a bunch of no-name indie people right now come together in like a warehouse, set it up, have your backdrops, and do a full-length movie based on their characters. And it'd be incredible if you did it right.
Yep. I agree.
I mean, that's how crazy it is on what you can do for entertainment that isn't Hollywood, because Hollywood thinks throwing $200 million for a project that is not going to garnish any type of money return is the answer.
Well, and again, like I've been saying for the past year and a half now, the problem is, like, everybody that I know that's in they're all my Transformers friends that went to see Transformers 1, the animated movie, in theaters. The movie theaters that all of them went, they live all across the country, and some of them even live in Canada. There was, like, besides those people, my friends that were in that theater, there was like maybe 6 other people. Every person I talked to said there was at least 6 or less other people watching. And I know Transformers 1 is animated, whatever. It is what it is. But the point is, I still don't think many people want to, whether they go or not, they don't want to go to the movies, because we had a whole year of being at home because of, obviously, we had to. That's fine. But, like, you're not
going to the movies, though, is kind of a social thing. You go with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your family, and you go for the social interaction. But if there's not a movie that's really entertaining, you're not going to go for the social interaction. You're just going to say, hell with this, I'm out. And that's typically
until it hits.
I'll wait till it hits or hits DVD. I mean, look how quick everything came out. Joker 2 is already coming out to Blu-ray, DVD, and all this stuff. Like, it flopped. It flopped hardcore. Deadpool came out yesterday, and then you've got Beetlejuice already coming out, I think, this month. So, I mean, it's not even been a couple months, and they're just dropping these like hotcakes out there because people don't go to the theaters like they used to.
Let me check. I know.
I think you're kind of right, but also wrong.
But the social
people. No. You said people don't go to the movie theaters like they used to anymore, and I feel like yes, a little bit, somewhat. There has been a re-education, because when the thing hit us in 2020 and 2021, all these distributors wanted us to stay home and watch their movies at home, and they tried to re-educate us to do that. And it was obviously partially a success, right?
Yes.
My best friend had to kick my ass that I go with him to movies again, because he's like, when are we going to the cinema? We have been not in the cinema for 3 months, and like before that one thing that happened, we were like at least once a month, and I'm like, I don't give a shit about movies anymore, dude. Like, I just go to a website and just put on a stream, and that's it, you know? But
you are 100% correct on that.
I will still, and this is like where I feel like you're wrong, or at least partially wrong. I think people still go to the movies and see the movies if the movie is right.
Yeah, if they want to see it, but not
they want. Yeah.
Well, and Donnie makes a good point too. Inflation. Look, so me and Mom went to go see Deadpool and Wolverine because I was doing a movie review for Kai Dragon Media as well as GeekCast Radio. So I was going through that. Just me, her alone was $40. Then, if you get a couple drinks and a popcorn, there's another $30. It cost us $70 to do that. Was it worth it? I loved the movie. First time I've laughed so hard in a movie for a while. I enjoyed the social experience because I enjoyed going out, hanging out with Mom, and she had helped so much with the gardening channel. It was one of those things I was like, hey, let's do this. And I enjoyed it. The problem with it is, and I do agree with you on this, Orc, if there isn't something to watch that's going to pull people in the seats or something that entices you, you're not going to go. If you're going to spend $70 at the movie theater for 2 people, you may just say, hell with it, let's just go rent a movie for $3 and go sit there and watch it.
Yeah, exactly. You can do your popcorn and your drinks at home for cheaper.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I feel like if the movie's right, because I do think we had hits this year. We had Wolverine and Deadpool, right?
Yeah.
We had Dune 2. It didn't make $1 billion like they wanted, but I feel like the $1 billion movie is something they will not get that easy anymore.
No.
I like there is good stuff there, right? Or there's good movies that you want to see in cinema. Like Dune was actually a movie where I said, yeah, I'm gonna watch that in cinema because I think that is made for a big screen first and foremost.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, like there is like a complete disconnect, and we all know that, like we 4 that are here. I mean, there's more people watching, but like Downey is very active in chat and us 3 who are talking.
Yeah.
Hollywood is completely disconnected from what people actually want. And that is the big issue.
I agree.
I don't even know if we will see like a Dune Part 3, which I hope we will. Also with Denis Villeneuve at the helm, because he deserves to do that, because he's a really good director. He's like one of those very last guys who have their own style. And but yeah, Dune 2 didn't make that magical $1 billion. It only made like 750, and that's not enough for these XX. And that's like where the problems come in again. You know?
It had
we don't know if we get like Dune 3. Like, and then we had Deadpool and Wolverine, which was a huge success, huge runaway success. To know, thanks to Disney, was an entirely a Ryan Reynolds vehicle.
Oh yeah.
And he made sure to let us know that. Was a Ryan Reynolds production from top to bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody had any influence on that, and it must sting Kevin Feige so bad
maximum effort
that he had zero fucking input on that. And Ryan Reynolds just went in, whipped his dick out, and said, "Look, it's bigger than yours."
He really did.
He really did. Dune 2 had a budget of $190 million. It made $714.4 million. The top 10 right now in October of 2024 for 2024. Inside Out 2 is number 1. Deadpool and Wolverine is number 2. Despicable Me 4 is number 3. Beetlejuice is number 4. Dune is 5. Twisters is 6. I don't know how. Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire is 7. Kung Fu Panda 4 is 8. Bad Boys Ride or Die is 9. And Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is 10.
And half of those, I just thought they kind of stunk. I mean, King Kong and the Secret Kingdom with Godzilla, I absolutely, as much as I liked Kong versus Godzilla with that one, in comparison, I think they should have changed it up, though, after King of the Monsters, but, well, that's a whole Godzilla thing. I do feel like the Godzilla and Kong Empire one was just such a god-awful cash grab. I really do feel like that. I feel like the script could have been way better. I did like Mothra, but,
Here's a movie nobody's talking about. Roadhouse, directed by Doug Liman. Nope, nobody's talking about that.
No.
This year.
and those are remakes. Roadhouse is a Patrick Swayze movie, and it'll always be a Patrick Swayze movie. You cannot try to recreate Roadhouse, an iconic movie, using no-name actors out there to suddenly turn around and make it.
I wouldn't call Jake Gyllenhaal a no-name actor.
I don't know who the hell he is.
I know who he is, but
he is definitely not a no-name actor.
Right,
he definitely is
not. Let me see what he's been in. Now you got me curious.
All right, Jake Gyllenhaal. Here we go. Let's see here. Public versus.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what movie's been in. Okay, so I see. Okay, so he was in Donnie Darko.
Yep.
Okay, I'm looking at his movie list here. Jarhead, I've never seen that one. Day After Tomorrow, never seen that one. Nocturnal Animals, never seen that one. Love and Other Drugs, never seen that one. Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, never heard of that one. Southpaw, Nightcrawler, haven't heard that. Prisoners, haven't heard of that one. Presumed Innocent.
You haven't seen Nightcrawler?
I've heard of half of them.
You are a bad person, Kai.
Wait, is it actually worth watching?
It's fucking great. Like, single-handedly, Nightcrawler is one of my favorite movies of the 2010s. It is absolutely awesome.
Okay, I do see one movie that I recognize him in. Prince of Persia.
But still, he's not, just because you haven't seen any of the movies he made doesn't mean he's a no-name actor. He's not. Like, Jarhead was
okay. He's been in a lot of movies.
Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah,
it's huge.
Yep.
Source Code was great. It's one of his smaller movies. End of Watch was lauded.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler was absolutely lauded too. You have Prisoners.
Yeah, half these movies I've never heard of. That's why maybe it's maybe not my fault for calling him a no-name actor, but half these movies I don't think of his name when I think of movies. Though we were just talking about that. Who's the names of actors and actresses that you think of that pop in your head when you think of Hollywood? I would have never thought of the same.
I think of Jake Gyllenhaal actually too.
Really?
Like he's not a no-name for me, no. But he is more, at least for me, he's not not really a mainstream actor. He's more in these kind of like Hollywood offbeat projects.
I mean, I've seen him in the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
And I see he did. Yeah. Donnie Darko, which that one I've heard of. Brokeback Mountain, I've heard of that one. Everybody's heard of that one. Let's see. I'm just looking at his filmography right now.
Yeah.
Prince of Persia. Despite everything, I didn't think that was a bad movie. It could have been for a video game. It was like, whatever.
Even Velvet Buzzsaw is pretty great, but just to wrap around back to Roadhouse, the Roadhouse remake is still shit.
Yeah.
Even if it has an actor I like with Jake Gyllenhaal, it's not good. Like he's also completely miscast in that role. He's not a fighter type of guy.
No.
He doesn't come off like he should in that movie, unfortunately. Completely miscast. But yeah,
movies,
like I said,
Gray and the Bride. Yeah. That's interesting. I learned something new with that one because there's a lot of names that I don't even recognize anymore.
I think Hollywood has gotten to the point, ladies and gentlemen, that it's basically horror or comedy or superhero.
Yeah,
there are a few good. Now, when I say superhero, yes, it's Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes, it's whatever. I consider superhero movies and action movies to be two different things. Action movies are stuff like Beverly Hills Cop or Tango and Cash or something that isn't tied to a superhero company franchise kind of thing. But yes. Yeah, I mean, horror essentially is what's keeping Hollywood alive.
Yeah. Yeah. If they had Aaron Eckhart in Roadhouse, I've heard of Aaron Eckhart. That would have been better. Yeah. But I don't think remakes trying to replace actors' legacies is really going to be a hard thing. Now, if you like Judge Dredd, I know I brought that one up. I love Carl Urban's Judge Dredd. It's more closer to the comics, whereas Mike loves the Sylvester Stallone campy one.
I like them both. It was just the Urban Dredd was more violent in my person, because it is. It's like you said. It's meant to be about the comics.
And he never took off his helmet in Judge Dredd. That's fine. Which you know, it's different time, different era. And both have their place. That one is a good opportunity of a remake. But if we're going to remake, let's just say we're going to remake Aliens 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to replace Sigourney Weaver as the mainstream actress. You're not going to be able to do that as well. You're not going, because she's always been the Aliens, involvement. Yeah. You're not going to do that. You're not going to replace Harrison Ford with Indiana Jones. That's not. You're never going to be able to do that.
What was the actor you just mentioned a minute ago?
Aaron Eckhart.
Okay. Oh, right. Harvey Dent, Dark Knight.
Yeah. And Donnie is right. Honestly, I'll say here, it's not just Hollywood's problem. It's our problem. We are old. Time is changing. Hollywood's changing into idealism, so it's not so important to have actors in films. Yeah, that's true. Actors, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You're going to have less name actors because you want to focus on the franchise. Point in case, we talked about Masters of the Universe. That could be a franchise. You're not going to focus on the actors. You're going to focus on He-Man, Skeletor, and that whole world. You're not going to focus, which still, let's take Robert Downey Jr. He built the Iron Man franchise himself. With his acting, how he fit the role, what he did, he hit Iron Man 1, 2, and 3 out of the park. 3 was my least favorite, but for different reasons, which we've talked about before, because, Mandarin is something that I like. But the point is, actors still will make or break a role. And Chris Evans is a really good Captain America. You and Chris Hemsworth, I think, does a great job for Thor, despite the fact some of the Thor movies have just been awful. And at the end of the day, I still feel like you wouldn't be able to replace Chris Hemsworth or Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans for those roles and still make it near as strong as a hit. I mean, they begged Robert Downey Jr. to come back to play Victor Von Doom because they're trying to save the Marvel world.
Yeah, because they're so creatively bankrupt, they couldn't think of another actor who could have done that.
No.
But I don't want to be that guy, but it's like 2:15 here. I'm gonna peace out now.
Oh yeah, I know. We had a deep conversation tonight. The stream ended up going 2 hours anyway. And you're right, Donnie. Chris Evans can't do any movies to save us. Yeah, I mean, he was only good in Captain America, and I liked him as the Human Torch.
Chris Evans.
I'd say Snowpiercer was good too with him, but he wasn't like the main. He wasn't like the main actor, but there was other good actors around him to like elevate everything.
There was
like actual good actors.
There was an actor that I think would have been good to play Doom as well, and I can't. He did Casino Royale. He did
Daniel Craig.
Mads Mikkelsen. It's exactly who I was thinking of when they.
Yeah, you had it. Yeah, that's who I was thinking would be perfect for Victor Von Doom.
The only problem with that is Disney would never do it.
Why?
You know why? He is Grand Admiral Thrawn in Ahsoka. Yep.
Yikes.
So Disney would probably have never done that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
what a waste.
Yeah, I know. He would make a perfect villain for Victor Von Doom. I mean, just he would fit that because he does so good in that role. Like,
yeah, we can let Orc go to bed if you want to continue. I can point out good things.
Well,
Evans
we'll
has
go
done, but
we can that we can save that for another debate because we have hit our 2-hour mark. So, all right. Oh wait, Donnie says Mads is not Thrawn; it's his brother.
No, I thought it was him.
What?
Hold on, let me
we gotta do a fact check here. Fact check. Okay, hold on. We got.
I could have sworn it.
All right, guys. I'm gonna peace out. Take care, everyone.
All right. Good night,
Good night,
Orky.
Orc.
Yeah, bye.
Series, Soka, cast.
I gotta look.
I hate those Halloween damn things. Knock that shit off. That's disgusting. Oh, he's right. Lars Mikkelsen. He's correct. I'm sorry. Correction. I bow before you, Donnie. Sorry. I just saw Mikkelsen and I was like, oh, it must be.
You're thinking of Rogue One. He was in Rogue One.
That's what it is.
Yeah. The recent ones he was in is Doctor Strange, Rogue One, Indiana Jones, Casino Royale, Fantastic Beasts, Land of the Promised.
Yep. All right.
But I think he'd be a good Victor Von Doom.
Too late now.
Yeah, I know. But overall, I'm just saying I think he would have been perfect for the role.
Yep.
Johnny says I'm ABC in this. Johnny says I'm going to Washington, D.C. for fact checker. And yeah, Valhalla Rising, I've seen that one. Yeah, that was a good one too. I didn't think about that one. All right, gang. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up here because I also got another stream to get ready for Conan Exiles. We're going to do some stuff there. I'm
tired as hell, so.
And appreciate Orko and Mike for hanging out and doing this. I mean, it's always fun having these talk shows and these discussions. I think tonight was a really deeper discussion than normal, but
So the last thing I'll say before we cut it off, Orc isn't here for this, but that's okay because I don't think he really cares. Currently, I'm waiting on the digital, the physical release of it next month, but you can rent or watch Transformers 1. It is available. Buy $25 for 4K right now. That's on Fandango at home. I don't know where it is elsewhere, but so this is what it is.
All right, gang. I will see you in just a little bit for the next stream. So stay tuned. Peace.
See ya.